Hey guys, Fikod here. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the This Week at Bungie that has just been recently published on the 12th of January 2017. Now I know I'm recording this on the 13th, I'm probably posting on the 14th, but the reason for that is I've had a few videos planned, one of them being my channel trailer, which I thought would be better to drop on Friday the 13th because I think Friday is just a better day to drop something like that. And if you watch this video and think about subscribing, I suggest you watch that trailer and maybe get some insight onto what's in store. So straight away I'm going to dive in to the This Week at Bungie. This week at Bungie, we're returning to full strength, the article begins. It continues by saying, welcome to the first weekly blog update of 2017. Now, as I said in a previous video, they were taking a break over December, so they haven't made any weekly updates throughout December. This is the first one. We're so glad to see that your holiday travels have returned you safely to your battle stations. One by one, our own people have returned to their desks, rested and ready to tackle this new year. It's time to resume our shared adventures in progress. A lot has happened since the last time you hit F5 to refresh the Bungie blog. Sparrows rocketed through boost gates and sprinted across the finish line. Zavala kept score as we blasted our way through some enhanced strikes. Some of you might have even got your hands on a brand new icebreaker. Well, not me. I haven't. But apparently some people have. I don't know anyone that has. But anyway, Bungie. If you've missed out on the dawning, it left some treats behind. There's a link that probably just leads you on to stuff about the dawning. All the while, we've kept our ears pressed to the internet. We're always listening. We know that a new year brings new questions. What's the next stop on our journey? Where do we learn about the future? For starters, you haven't heard the last from the live team at Bungie. They're hard at work on another content update that will give you the reasons to fight before renewed orders from the Vanguard arrive. There will be a batch of fixes for some issues you've been talking about. In the meantime, there are skirmishes to fight, mostly against each other. Now, what I thought was interesting about this, it says, you've not heard the last from the live team, presumably before Destiny 2, which is quite odd, seeing as I made a video saying, no more Crimson Days in a clickbaity fashion. Because from an interview I'd read in an article, it really did seem like we may not have been getting Crimson Days, but now it appears you might be getting something. Maybe not Crimson Days, but something. So, possibly Crimson Days will be coming. It talks about there are skirmishes to fight. You know, skirmish by definition is like a small conflict, like Crimson Days, 2v2. So, clearly content is coming. Bungie are teasing content, live content. It doesn't seem there's any Destiny 2 teasers here, maybe Crimson Days or an April update tease. But they move on to talk about Iron Banner, which begins Tuesday, January 17th, 10 AM Pacific, and ends Tuesday, January 24th, 1 AM Pacific, and the game mode will be Clash. Now, I probably won't give a review of this Iron Banner, seeing as how the last Iron Banner I reviewed was virtually exactly the same. I may give a small talk if they don't need tweaks or anything, and I'll move on to the fixes that Bungie are introducing into Destiny in a second after I've read through Iron Banner. So the weekly update says Aphrodite's last call to arms was to play a ball game charged with dangerous energy, that's Rift. While the sparks were flying in the game, there was spirited conversation about Rift in our community, and many of you came around to embrace its charms. This time we can dispense with the debate. A good old-fashioned shooting match should appeal to everyone with a favourite exotic weapon. As always, there will be loot. So this is saying that, people debated whether they like Rift or not, so they just brought Clash because everyone likes Clash. The weapons the vendor will be selling, obviously the rolls on, and here are sidearms, the rocket launcher, hunter armour, titan armour, warlock armour is the chest plates and arms. Which is kind of odd because I think we were all assuming it was going to be the hand cannon, but apparently not, which means we're going to have to wait another Iron Banner before we get the hand cannon. May your rolls be godly and your aim be true. Bring a team if you have one. If you don't, this is another invitation to make some new friends. They'll thank you for backing them up. It just might change your life as a gamer. Bring your light. This is, of course, Bungie generating hype as they always do, and making it seem a lot more epic than it probably will be. The next section in the Bungie Weekly update is called Clash of Fans. Since the first launch of Destiny, we've been putting a price on our own heads. Bungie bounties, we've called them. The invitation has been simple: hunt us down in matchmaking and kick our ass. Success has always been rewarded with an emblem. Recently it occurred to us, why should we have all the fun? For the next few weeks we will be inviting you to chase down some people of note in your community. So the first person that we as a community are meant to hunt is the Twitch streamer, Professor Broman. I'll link his Twitch channel in the description and his YouTube channel. Of course, when I'm loading this on Saturdays today, this is going to be gone, but there is a chance to get the sign of opposing will every day as a new target is marked. Now I'm going to move on to the patch notes left within this weekly update. Destiny hotfix 2.5.0.1. Following the launch of the Dawning, we have actively monitored reports of issues introduced with the Destiny update 2.5.0. Thanks to all the help posted on the Bungie Help Forum, the following issues will be addressed in Destiny hotfix 2.5.0.1, which will become available at 9:30 AM Pacific on Tuesday 17th of January 2017. The three main changes we're introducing are: some patrol missions in the Plaguelands are not reliably causing enemies to drop their respective object items. That will be fixed. Now, I've noticed that problem quite a lot. That's really annoying when you're doing like the patrol quests and stuff, where it's like you'll get the bounty, we have to kill a certain amount of shanks and get like engines or whatever that drop off them, and it just wouldn't work. The next fix is Zer's curio inventory varies on a weekly basis due to limitation of his inventory space. That will be repaired, so we'll no longer have the problem where we're having to like choose between glass needles or 3 of coins or whatever. They're just going to fix his inventory space. And finally, something I've been talking about, a lot of people have been talking about since the Dawning first came out, weapon stability on the Nova Mortis and Abaddon exotic machine guns is being fixed. Currently, at this moment in time this is being uploaded, it's on the recall pattern of Year 1 Thunderlord, which was fixed because it was too juddery and, as you can see in the gameplay right now, quite hard to aim. And of course, they fixed that with Thunderlord, which is why Thunderlord feels different. They want to have Abaddon, Nova Mortis and Thunderlord all to feel exactly the same, and the only difference be the element type. They've also fixed smaller things like the quest not appearing above Zavala's head and it being over Ikora, and loads of other small things. I'll link the patch notes in the description as well, along with 1,000 other things that are going to be in the description throughout this video, just so you can read it. I don't want to make this video like an hour long of me just reading everything in the update. But now I'm going to stop doing the weekly update and start talking about the Destiny 2 leak that happened earlier this week. I didn't cover it straight away like every other YouTuber that was like, Destiny 2 info, and then the next day they were like, it's all bullshit. I kind of wanted to analyse it over a few days and see how things played out. So on Tuesday the 10th of January, I believe, under the Destiny the Game Reddit page, I'll link that in the description as well, a forum thread was put up by an inconspicuously named user called Inside Leaker. Now, of course, that already raises a few eyebrows. He has like no other history on Reddit other than this post, and it's titled "Leaked Destiny 2 Info," and within brackets, legitimate inside source contact. So immediately you know this is legit because he has said it's legit, which means, you know, it must be, people don't lie on the internet. And he moves on to say, I am in close contact with a Bungie employee currently working on Destiny 2 in some capacity. So whether or not that means, he's the director of narration, or he's the dinner lady at Bungie, making cups of tea or whatever for the staff. It doesn't say the extent of what involvement he has with the development process. He continues to say, that's his sole source of this info. Shit. What I meant to say is, that is the sole source of this info. But he's written it, that's as in that is the sole. Anyway, he wrote it wrong, that's why I read it wrong. So that is the sole source of this info. Take it with all the grains of salt you'd like. So immediately you know it's legit, because even he's doubting his source. On to the juicy tidbits. I'll keep them as concise as possible. So the first point he makes is, they are not completely rebooting our characters. My source described it as a clean slate, but not a full wipe. Apparently our Guardian will still retain their memories, accomplishments, etc. up to this point, but we will not have any carryover of gear, weapons and items. Now, to be honest, as I go through these points, they all seem quite realistic, if I'm honest. I'm not going to lie and say this is all just a wish list like everyone was on Twitter. Everyone on Twitter was kind of jumping on a bandwagon, to be honest. But actually, a lot of these points he's making sound quite realistic. So the next point is, there'll be 3 new subclasses from the jump. The existing classes will be fully reworked, including new abilities, perks, and visual effects. Now I'm going to make a video on 3 subclasses I'd like, one for each class, obviously, Titan, Warlock and Hunter. So hopefully some of my ideas that I'd like, you might not like them, will come into Destiny 2. Obviously, coincidentally, Bungie aren't going to watch my video and implement them, or they might. I'll sue them if they do. But so yeah, again, this sounds quite realistic. 4 subclasses per Guardian. To be honest, I kind of had the idea that we might just have a neutral Guardian and he have like 9 or 10 different subclasses. So you'd have all the Hunter, all the Warlock, all the Titan subclasses under one neutral Guardian. But you know, that's very unlikely. I thought that might be a cool idea. And the next point he moves on to say is, the game face. No, the game may. I'm reading this on a phone. The game may face a delay until the first quarter of 2018. Now, to me, this is quite likely as well, seeing as how I know a lot of people freaked out about this and were like, "Fuck you, guy," on the internet. This isn't going to happen. You're obviously bullshitting. But I think this could be quite likely, because I'll link the video in the description. I'm linking a lot in the description of my video about Bungie getting new developers, and why I think that's quite confusing so late into the development process. Like, that's a big shake-up. But I'll link the video if you want to hear that. He says, my source didn't get too specific, but hinted that they are having issues with the new engine they are using and possibly some hang-ups regarding narration/staff. That is actually really believable, seeing as how they've just asked for a new narrative director and stuff. Next point, it will be 60 FPS. So, cited technical limitations, not aesthetics, as the reason for it being missing in Destiny 1. So, that's because of old gen stopped being 60 FPS. You know, this is all adding up, to be honest, so far. Powers of the Darkness, he quotes, will be introduced into the gameplay. His source didn't elaborate on this. So, you know, this is well written in some aspects. It doesn't seem like a really clickbaity. A lot of this stuff seems quite negative and not all just positive, but none of it seems like there will be no Guardians or anything in Destiny 2. You know, it's all quite down to earth and grounded, this information. He then moves on to say, raids will be bigger, longer and much more interesting in terms of mechanics moving forward. To me, that could mean anything. That could be in Bungie, that could be in the developer's opinion. We could all think it's shit. But, you know, they're implementing some kind of transmogrification feature. So transmog, I know it's transmog, where you can have your gun, say you want your Mida to look like Surus Regime, just as a really shit example. You could do that. So it would play out like a Mida, have all the perks from Mida, but look like a Surus. I don't think they'll do that with exotics. It'll probably be with legendaries. But to me, from here on out, it seems more like a wish list than anything. He says that it will come to PC. There will be a UI overhaul with more customization features. Eververse will not be as prominent as it is now. Zell will play a new role in the overarching story. The Speaker will be central to the main storyline, and new non-Guardian races will be introduced. That's all I have, unless my source gives me more info. Now, personally, everyone was slating him. I think most of what he says is reasonable and quite likely. For example, Xur have a larger impact on the story is very likely to me, because, you know, the 9 have quite a lot in the deeper lore. Also, things like the speaker having a deeper role. If you're not from the UK, you might not know who Bill Nye is, but he is a relatively large actor in the UK who voices the speaker, and the reason he wasn't really in Destiny, much like Peter Dinklage, is because he's probably too busy to do video games. And for an old man, not generalising, he might not appreciate how big Destiny actually is, how big the video game industry is. So he's chosen to reject Destiny as a main project. But, like I said, this could be virtually anything. The speaker could have a deep role, but the reason the speaker doesn't have a main role already is because he's too busy, so they'll have to get a new voice for the speaker if this is true, which, you know, would cost quite a lot, so whether or not that's true, I don't know. I mean, a few of the comments, I'm just going to read out now. One says, sorry, I don't buy it, merely claiming a legitimate inside source and then listing a handful of things that have been discussed and a bunch isn't enough. And then there's one comment here which is my kind of point of view on this. But his name is Inside Leaker. How can it not be true? You know, it's obvious that this is true. He is called Inside Leaker. He says he has legitimate information. There is nothing illegitimate about what this man is saying. Now, of course, I'm taking the piss. I really don't know what to believe. I think, you know, people are being a bit harsh to him, saying he's an attention seeker and stuff. To be honest, a lot of what he's saying is really realistic to me. I can see a transmog feature being in. A lot of this stuff is what we've demanded, you know, 60 FPS, it coming to PC. Nothing he's saying is game changing other than the release date being moved. And people seem to be really like against the ideas of Bungie to do that. Like, to be honest, Bungie have learnt from their mistakes that delaying a game to make it better is a much better idea than releasing like a half unfinished game that they did with Destiny 1. But then the community's like, we don't want Bungie to do that. Well, I'm sorry, but the community can't have two thoughts on this. You know, we all wanted a better game, and I'd rather it be delayed, be given a DLC at the end of this year, and then have Destiny 2 launch at start next year. But yeah, you guys make up your own opinions on whether or not this Destiny 2 leak was true or false. And yeah, Crimson Days could be coming, and it also couldn't be. I'll link my video of why I don't think it's coming in the description. But thank you for watching this video. I have no idea what's going on the gameplay on screen, but yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This went on for ages actually. I didn't expect this to be so long. This doesn't count as a big and bulky video. This was just an ordinary news one which took forever because I didn't make really many news videos all week. This is my first news video of the week, so there's a lot of info added up, so it's kind of 2 news videos in one. But again, thank you for watching the video. Check out all the shit in the description, and if you haven't subscribed from this video and are unsure, check out some of my other videos. Check out my channel trailer. That kind of sums up what I'm going to be doing. And yeah, thanks for all the support. I hit 20 subscribers, which might not sound a lot to you guys, but for me, I've hit 20 subscribers, way over 1,000 views now in my first month and everything. It means quite a bit to me. Thank you for watching the video. Any form of feedback is appreciated. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Oh no, let me do that again. Bye-bye. Oh. I'll see you later.